This training video is specific to the LISST-200X laser diffraction-based particle size analyzer, which is installed within the fast oceanographic automated monitoring foam system. We discuss the fundamental practices which are performed each day as part of the operation of the system. The topics we will discuss are cleaning of the optical windows of the LISST-200X, connecting the LISST-200X to the computer, installing the small volume test chamber, obtaining a clean water background, and finally, installing the flow-through chamber onto the 200X. The LISST-200X has optical windows which will require daily inspection and cleaning to ensure optimal instrument performance. Start by visually inspecting the optical windows to make sure that they are clean. There are two windows, the receive window, which is the larger window, and the transmit window, the smaller window. Both windows need to be cleaned to ensure quality measurements. The best way to check the windows is by using a flashlight. By shining the light from one side and viewing from the other, the surface of the windows can be easily checked for cleanliness. If there is visible contamination on the windows, it is recommended that they be cleaned with a mild dish soap, lots of water, and a clean finger. If the windows appear clean, then a simple cleaning with a small amount of glass cleaner and a soft paper wipe may be all that is required. Be sure to clean both windows and to inspect them afterwards to make sure they are as clean as possible. Do not use strong solvents such as acetone or toluene, or abrasive cleaners that could scratch the glass. The LISST-200X uses a special cable to connect to the PC. This cable provides power to the LISST-200X via the USB port, as well as serial communication with the computer. Start by rotating the LISST-200X such that the zinc anode is located towards the top. The underwater connector that is used for communications and power is now on the left side. Loosen the red locking sleeve and pull the protective cap straight off the bulkhead connector. The communications cable has a 5-pin connector that mates with this bulkhead connector. Orient the cable to line up the pins on the bulkhead connector and push the cable fully onto the connector. Install the locking sleeve hand tight. Insert the USB end of the communications cable into the USB port of the computer. You should see a light flash on the cable and may hear a sound on the computer as the USB connection is established. The first time the cable is connected, some drivers may need to be automatically installed. With the LISST-200X connected to the computer, we can now start the LISST-200X software and establish communication. Choose the correct serial port by choosing Serial Port Settings from the Communications menu, and then select Connect from the Communications menu. Refer to the step-by-step procedure on page 33 of the LISST-200X User's Manual for more details. The next step is to obtain a clean water background to make sure the windows are clean and that we have a record of measurement of the light scattering from clean water that will be used for the processing of the field data. The easiest way to obtain a clean water background is to install the small volume test chamber onto the optics end of the LISST-200X. This small chamber seals on the sides of the opening around the windows. The small volume test chamber has O-rings on the sides and simply slides into the larger opening on the side of the LISST-200X optics end. Slide the chamber into the opening until it is fully inserted, forming a cavity that can be filled with clean filtered water. Sequoia recommends steam distilled bottled water filtered through a 0.2 micron filter as the source of clean water. Tap water may contain too many particles and may also contain dissolved gas that can release and form small bubbles on the optical surfaces. Pressurized filtered water can also contain dissolved gas. Often the best source of clean water is bottled drinking water. Pay close attention to the background water temperature. The water and instrument should be at the same temperature. If temperatures are different, it can impact the quality of the background. The background scattering measurement is critical to good instrument performance. It is especially critical for clean water applications, where the optical transmission is greater than 90% over the 2.5 centimeter optical path. The background scattering will also check the overall health of the instrument. It will verify that all the systems are functioning and that the optics is still in alignment. It is highly recommended that a clean water background be performed before the start of each measurement cycle, such as the beginning of the day's sampling. To collect a background, choose Collect Background Scatter Data from the LISST menu. Verify that the small volume test chamber is installed on the LISST-200X and that it is filled with clean water. If the water has been in the chamber for some time, a gentle stirring of the water might be helpful. Press Begin Collect to start the background collection. Follow the instructions on the screen until an acceptable background is obtained. Refer to the step-by-step procedure on page 35 of the LISST-200X User's Manual for more details. Drain the water from the small volume test chamber by rotating the LISST-200X and pouring the water into a bucket. The chamber can then be slid out of the optics openings and stored in a clean container or bag. The final step will be to install the LISST-200X flow-through chamber onto the optics end of the instrument. This chamber has 4 pieces that are inserted into the openings on the optics end of the LISST-200X. Disassemble the chamber by removing the 4 screws. Check that the O-rings on the 4 parts are installed and are clean. A very small amount of O-ring lubrication applied directly to the O-ring might be helpful. Insert the clear acrylic parts into the larger openings using your thumbs to push them fully into place. Note that these parts can only be inserted in one orientation, but will fit on either side. Insert the black parts into the smaller openings. Install the 2 screws on one side, but do not tighten them fully. Insert the screws on the other side, and then tighten all the screws finger tight only. The LISST-200X is now ready to be installed into the foam system.